Hello and welcome everyone, I am Madals and this is another StarCraft 2 England cast. Today I have got game 1 of a best of 3, it is from the Russian StarCraft League and it is between FRAER, the green Protoss player in the top right, versus fnaticaLive, who is the red Terran in the lower left. Live is, well, a very good player. FRAER is someone I have casted many a game from and has continually impressed me actually. The map is in Tomb Valley. It is an interesting map. Obviously you've got the rocks between the natural and third base with an entrance to each, which can be difficult to hold, but of course this is TvP, so the third base probably won't go down for quite a while, I would imagine. They are in cross-spawn position. I don't actually believe it is forced cross-spawn, as far as I am aware. No, it's not, because FRAER is going to go and scout the other way. Now, obviously being a TvP, we've got various different options available to both players. But I think what we're most likely to see is, well, firstly, gateway units being quite aggressive, following up with obviously Stimpack being researched by the Terran, lots of Marines and Marauders, with a few medevacs really wrecking the gateway units, and then a choice from FRAER to either go Colossus or High Templar with Storm, eventually aiming for both. Obviously then the Terran counters that with Vikings or Ghosts with EMP. So those are the options available, the rough outline of what could happen in the game. But to be honest, there's lots of different openings that are viable. This SCV just going out to go and scout now. We do of course have the probe on its way in. We'll manage to get into the base because we don't have the supply depot down. So the probe actually going to go and start attacking that SCV. Will delay the barracks by a couple of seconds, and that is quite a big win actually, delaying that barracks, because anything you do in the early game to delay by a couple of seconds has a really quite substantial knock-on effect throughout the game. So hopefully that will pay off well for FRAER. FRAER meanwhile is getting down the gateway. And what's this? We've got a barracks. I completely missed this coming down, so it is a 2 racks. This, if it's not scouted, could be really difficult to deal with, but of course the probe is still running around. The probe will of course see that there is no gas. The fact there is no gas says, hey, there's either a 2 racks or an expansion coming first, or something else. So if it gets scouted, it will really be a complete shutdown. Here is the probe just coming to check around, saying, is there a barracks anywhere? Will it go over far enough? Did it spot it? Did it? No, it didn't quite. Okay, is it going to go? Is it going to go there? It is. Yep, there we go. So the second barracks has now been spotted. FRAER now knows exactly what is going on. We'll probably not chuck down this expansion now. That would be quite crazy. Here comes down the cybernetics core. We've got another gateway on its way down for the moment. And now, well, obviously we've got these 2 SCVs on their way in. We do have the first Marine on its way over. We may see a bunker chuck down, depending on how much of a contain we want to see here from Live. FRAER has really got to defend this incredibly well. We're getting a chrono boost out on the Stalkers. Ready, just trying to start and deny some of this. We've got bunker on the low ground. That isn't too much of a problem. Just need to deal with that SCV on the high ground. The bunker will be prevented from going down at the moment. Of course, you don't want that bunker to finish. That'd be very, very annoying. A cancel force. We do have a probe coming down. The second Zealot will be out momentarily. A second gateway on its way out now for FRAER. The Marine numbers are slowly building up, but there is nothing behind this. If it doesn't work, Live will be in a bit of a situation. He's pulling back the Marines for the moment as well. Another SCV moving forward, and is this Live just really giving up on the push? Well, it certainly seems that way. He's just grouping up his Marines, maybe trying to fake that it's not going to happen, to really get FRAER to relax a bit. But actually, considering the expansions coming down, it looks like Live was not in a position to want to commit to that. He didn't lose too much, so that is okay. Obviously, the bunker when it was shut down means that was not going to happen. We do now have a Stalker in the mix as well, with a sentry coming down. The second gateway nearly finished. A third gateway coming down as well now. So really, this is FRAER counter-attacking quite heavily. He knows his opponent has invested a lot in going for that 2 rack, which really didn't work, but that many Marines will be very tough to deal with, as in it is something you do not want to try and take down. Looking back up here, we do have a proxy pylon thrown down now by FRAER. That command center looking a bit vulnerable, and another command center started. Is that too bold? We'll wait and see, but I certainly think it could be when you consider what is in this base. Of course, warp gate tech is nearly finished. It's 3/4 done. That sentry there. We do have FRAER now expanding. The Marines coming up here to check the third base. or really just to hide, it would appear. Just making sure nothing is coming down there. Of course, though, we do have more sentries on their way out. They're going to be holding the ramp indefinitely. One force field will hold this ramp off, and if you split those Marines in half, they will be having a bad day, and that is precisely what's going to happen. Not quite an even split, but a lot of those Marines unable to run away, and that is big damage there for fnaticaLive, and he is at over double the resources lost, but he does, of course, have more command centers down. He is now getting that third racks up. He's getting a double bunker at the front. He's really trying to get in a defensive position. The bunker should finish before this push reaches him. However, will the second bunker? Probably not. It all depends where the SCVs are pulled. Here come the SCVs, so they are ready to come and repair. But of course you need to get that repair off very potently. The sentries will be trying to force field the back of this, and the Marine is slightly late getting into the bunker. The second bunker is now down. Of course there is now an economic advantage for Live, in my opinion, because he does have that third command center up, now morphing into an orbital command. A third bunker coming down, and this is a good move by Live. He needs the bunker up. He literally needs to turtle into his base and try and hold off this push, because if the push doesn't work, FRAER isn't in the greatest economic position. Obviously fnaticaLive does have that third orbital command now. Those mules will help massively. In terms of the gas count, it's 2 gas apiece, and that is it. Looking at this force though, it is not huge, and of course when that third bunker finishes and the Marines getting there, it could be a very potent defensive position. Now here we do have the SCVs coming down. They are unable to repair the first bunker, and it does fall. The second bunker is still getting repaired, but force fields go down all the way around, preventing as many repairs as possible. This is a lot of force being put on by pressure being put on by FRAER right now, and the damage is not really being done in time. Yes, another bunker is being built, but FRAER forced back for the moment. In terms of the worker count, obviously we are still seeing FRAER ahead at the moment, but when you factor in those mules, it should be pretty even, and indeed it is. A second bunker, a third bunker on its way as well. Force fields going down. Those Marines do need to be careful. The gateway units are moving across. All of the SCVs getting pulled, just going to be acting as well a way to soak up the damage. But of course this is allowing FRAER to deal so much damage. The Marines aren't able to get across there. Warpins from the pylon positioned ideally there, and well, just so much damage being done here. 19 workers ahead for FRAER, that is significant, and well, even with 3 orbital commands you can't really get an economical lead being that far behind in terms of the workers. And of course most of FRAER's units are still up and running. This orbital command is going to take lots of damage. The Zealots do need to be careful though. You don't want to engage that too early. A Marauder is of course in the mix. Stim pack is 3/4 done. Once Stim finishes, this push will get shut down really quite easily. But behind it we do of course have FRAER getting his Twilight Council out, getting a 4th gateway adding on to this, and well, getting also down his forge for the upgrades. The pressure still coming in, a factory coming out for Live now. He knows he needs to get those medevacs once Stim starts, because otherwise he cannot afford to keep stimming. Doing a brilliant job though of keeping his natural base up, but this pressure absolutely relentless at the moment. Force field not quite on the money there, only getting 1 Marine, but a few more units getting taken out. A lift force at the natural base. That means of course that those workers are not mining there, and it will be less efficient on use of course all those SCVs. Now as we take a look, the bunker is going to go down. The repair was not there. There were SCVs there, but the lack of repairs could really hurt. Now the sentries at the front, which isn't really where you want them, but they have no energy for force fields anyway. A couple of Zealots warping in, so many SCVs getting killed. That takes up to 42 SCVs killed already by FRAER, who is just staying so far ahead. He is now, what, 26 workers ahead, 25 workers ahead, and is securing his 3rd base. But the orbital command has floated down to the 3rd base position. So will it be revealed if those SCVs did go down there? That would be bad times. Is the Stalker going to go up there? No, it would appear not. A counter-attack trying to come in. Stim is finished, and wow, look at that damage being done by those Marauders. Stim Marauders just absolutely wreck Stalkers so well. But of course this push still going, just trying to go and do some counter-attack damage, but there's just not enough SCV production in my opinion. The worker deficit, or the worker difference is too large, and even though through all of this the pressure's been on, FRAER's been doing a great job back at his base. He's about to finish Blink. He's got the +1 Protoss ground weapons. He is now adding on a 2nd forge for those double upgrades. He's chrono boosting effectively. He secured his 3rd base. His opponent is really on the ropes now, trying to get up more stuff. We do of course have another barracks. The starport finished. The switch should go down there, and now it would appear that we're going to have a movement of these bases, because he is not confident in being able to hold that third base, which I can't blame him. It would be very, very tough indeed to do. Of course, the worker count is still absolutely hugely different, and that is really reflected in the supply as well. It's going to allow FRAER to get a lot more stuff out. The only saving grace for Live is he does have, of course, Stim finished, but in terms of the army supply, it's 23-34 at the moment. That scouting factory is going to be allowed to live, but for how long? The pylon is getting picked up. We have more stalkers warping in. Blink, of course, done now. That is a big important upgrade. SCV's getting preemptively pulled to repair the bunker, but the force fields are on the money, preventing the repair. The bunker falls, and wow, just look at the damage being done by the Protoss army here. And Live is probably going to be forced to GG out. All these units are taken down, and as expected, the GG goes down. So that was game 1, guys. Subscribe, like, leave a comment, then flick over to my channel, and I will see you at game 2 any second. Bye for now.